probably knew that this was going to happen as soon as I found it, but I honestly did not think that I was going to find it this soon, and I'm extremely lucky to have found this guy. This is the video review for Transformers Earthrise Leader Class Optimus Prime. As we saw from Siege with Shockwave, Ultra Magnus, and even Galaxy Upgrade Optimus Prime, and even now in Earthrise with Astral Train and this guy, Leader Class is pretty much just a glorified Voyager class with some extra spare parts on it. It can get a little annoying, and sometimes it's really hard to justify the price. But for this guy, I'm going to tell you right now, it's actually kind of worth it. Maybe slightly discounted, but honestly, I love this thing. So let's have a look. We've got a nice Earth mode, flat nose red truck with a silver stripe on the back and an Autobot symbol on the left side. I'm sure you could fit one on the other side as well, but I don't feel like covering up all that detail. Now, I did add a few paint modifications here and there, but you won't see too terribly many of them because this guy didn't need too many of them. I added the yellow lights up here on the top. I added a little bit of silver right here above the wheel and the silver in the middle of these front wheels because these ones were just flat gray. It's a little annoying, but, you know, I fixed it and it looks a little better. And also I did the silver here on the mirrors. But that's it. It's just the tiny things. This guy pretty much had everything else covered from the get-go, and I love it for it. The only thing that would kind of irk me is what's back here on the robot mode legs is this gray thing here in the middle between the legs. I'm sure it'd be easy to get some paint and color match it and then just paint it blue, but it's honestly not that big of a deal. For a Voyager class Optimus Prime, this by itself is already better than Siege. We'll get to that more comparisons between those two in robot mode, but for now let's talk about what this guy comes with to make him a leader class. Well, for one thing, he comes with this iconic blaster, which already, right off the bat, is better than Siege. It's just a bigger blaster with a little clip right there, and it just looks so much better. Sure, it's a little shorter, but honestly, it doesn't have this weird boil in the middle, and it's good looking. It looks great. So if you wanted to store this thing on the vehicle mode, you've got plenty of ports all over him. We've got two ports in the back here, one to the side, which we'll get to why in robot mode, and the one in the middle here, which you can put right there. But if you'd rather have it be a little more flush with the vehicle mode, you can fold the gun in half, and then there's a hole right there, and you can stick it right there. And that hides it so well, and it doesn't really even cause that much grief with his other accessory. You all know what it is. It's the trailer. And let me just say, when was the last time that we got a trailer that came with an Optimus Prime figure? It had to at least be the Unicron trilogy. I didn't even really need to do any paint work on this except for the taillights back here. And other than that, it just looks perfect. Sure, the line here could use a little bit more work and looks a little dull, but I don't care. Because the moment that you take this and slot it right into the back of Optimus Prime here, you know that you've got the full package. It just feels really good to have all of it together. Now, if you don't want to have the gun on the back of the vehicle mode, that's fine. You've got plenty of other options here with the trailer. You got two ports on either side back here and also one down here on the bottom. The one down the bottom is my preferred choice, but you can do whatever you want with it. Or you can come around to the back, split it in half, and open it up like the original base mode, and have four more on each side. I put Siege Ratchet's little weapon arm thingy in here just because I feel like that kind of fits in there, and I like having it in there. But yeah, you can plug Optimus's gun on any port in there, and it'll still close up just fine. Now, while we're here, let's already take a look at the inside of this trailer, because this is where it was going to go anyway. For one thing, if you wanted to hold down on itself and be a med bay, you've got these little stands. And we've got the drone here. Now, mine looks quite different, as you can see. Originally, this was just painted flat gray, just like everything else, and I kind of hated that. Everyone knows what the drone on the Optimus Prime trailer looks like, so I did what needed to be done. I painted it blue, painted the little cockpit there orange, left a little gray slit there in the middle, and a green bit there, just because. It adds a little to it. Black on barrels, and it looks better now, in my opinion. Honestly, it's just nice. We'll get to what more this thing can do in robot mode, but just one last gush at how great this looks. If we thought the Siege version was a miniature masterpiece, we were not ready for the likes of this guy. The transformation on this guy guy is incredible. The entire upper torso does some incredible tricks that I don't think I've ever seen before. With how everything folds up and compresses right behind the chest here, it's immaculate. The lower legs from the knee down are the same pieces from the Siege Voyager, and you can see, standing side by side, they are the exact same. From the front, at least. Around the back, they have these new pieces that wrap around the side that prevents these wheels from folding in, just like how these wheels did. And I'm kind of fine with that. I like the wheels being exposed on the outside. The tanks from vehicle mode do that awesome trick from the Studio Series Bumblebee movie, Optimus Prime. And the only thing I can say that I wish that this guy carried over from this guy is having the wheels compress into his chest like so. But that's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker. I'm fine without it. And even so, back here, this still looks like a great back, especially in comparison to how this thing just had a big old backpack. It didn't do it any favors in robot mode, and in vehicle mode, it gave it one of my biggest gripes, those stupid eyebrows. And seeing this thing pull off such an incredible transformation and look more than good in both modes just makes me so happy. But if you guys do hate it so much, it is just on a C-clip, and it can come right off. You're left with that weird bar being there, but whatever. Like I said, if this was a mini MP10, this just blows it out of the water. Because this really is like a miniature MP10. And you could probably honestly get rid of this thing. It has the same exact articulation that the Siege figure did, and honestly does it even better in my opinion. But going back to what I said about this guy in his review, I didn't know what else it could do for articulation. And granted, this guy does everything the same from Siege, and I didn't know what else it could possibly do. And then it did this. Opening hands on a mainline release figure. That's something that we don't even get with regular Leader Class figures from the last 5 years. Like, besides Command Class Jetfire, when was the last time we saw opening hands on a mainline release Transformer? And for something that's basically a Voyager class figure, oh man, we are spoiled right now, guys. Now, obviously, he's got all these blast holes all over him, but if you want him to hold a gun, you know exactly what you need to do with it. You stick it right in his hand and have him strike a heroic pose. No axe or anything like that that's carried over from the Siege version, but if you do want him to have some more accessories, you can come right back to the trailer. Come right to the door here and you can rip this off and it can become a shield. I'm not a very big fan of this, so I'm just going to forever leave it in the vehicle mode. Something else I'm not really too keen on, but something I do like more than that weird shield, is taking this off and plugging it right onto the back of Optimus. He can have a jetpack if he wanted to, or he can have a little repair drone come right above him and do stuff. The sky is the limit on your imagination. Now, one last thing I did say in my Siege Optimus Prime review was that one wasn't going to replace my classic Optimus Prime. Because I have been adamantly saying that I love this Optimus Prime, and I still do. I'm a really big fan of this toy. It makes me really happy to have this in my collection, but honestly, looking at this in comparison, there's no contest. There's no kibble hanging off of the arms. There's no weird backpack that holds the other weapon. There's no limited articulation because it was a product of its time. And classic Optimus Prime just needs to know when it's beat. Because with this figure, this is no longer the Optimus Prime I'm having on my classic shelf. It's going to go back there on the Optimus Prime shelf. But the one that I want represented for my classics Autobots is this guy right here. It's got that feeling of just being whole. It's got incredible articulation, and more so than needed to boot. And not only were we spoiled enough with it, his chest can also open to reveal a removable Matrix of Leadership. Guys, this is a no-brainer, and it's a no contest. This Optimus Prime is the best mainline Optimus Prime that we have ever gotten. It's got everything that you could possibly want from an Optimus Prime. The only thing that some people would nitpick and complain and piss and moan about is the fact that it doesn't come with an axe. It doesn't come with a little axe that slides over his hand to seal it away and do whatever. And to those people, I say 3D print one. or go on Shapeways and buy one. But don't complain about something that isn't a necessity. What is a necessity is for this toy to be good. And this toy is great. This is why I say it nearly justifies the price point. And for me, it did justify the price point. $50 in the USA for this and this, I didn't feel like I was ripped off. I feel like I got my money's worth. And I think that this belongs in every Transformers fan collection. If you're getting an Optimus Prime to go with your classics shelf, go with this. If you're getting an Optimus Prime for an Optimus Prime shelf, you need this. Because it's great. And obviously you can do with more Optimus Primes. Trust me. But pretty much just this figure is great. That's all I really have to say about it. Thank you all very much for watching this video. Thanks for sticking with me through all of this, and hopefully we get more reviews soon. Anyway, that's all I really have to say. Thank you all very much for watching. This has been 01 Transfan, the #1. I'll talk to you all next time.